the best, worst podcast you've ever heard. And now, The Ronnie and Bo Show, brought to you by Prescott Realty.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good middle of the night. We don't know when you listen
to this. Good
winter,
good summer.
Yeah.
This is the Netflix, what do you call it?
Of radio,
model, right?
You can listen to this
whenever you want.
At your leisure.
You know, my mom said that she called me the other day and left me a message.
Yeah.
Luckily, we weren't recording
Right.
like when she called last time. And she said, I just been listened and I got a couple of comments for you. So, yeah, it really is. There is no primetime viewing or listening for podcasts, right?
No, there isn't.
Well, we got another fun episode coming up with comedian
Shoemaker.
Craig Shoemaker.
This is the best day ever.
The Ronnie and Bo Show, brought to you by Prescott Realty.
Yep, you can give them a call today for a no-commitment free consultation at 928-499-8700. They've got specialists that are going to help you out, and that's really what you want, because when it comes to home buying, it's just like seeing a doctor. You got a heart problem, you're not going to go to a foot doctor. So
Richard Hanna is one of their specialists in custom home site builds.
Yep.
Kylie Elliott is a first-time home buyer specialist.
Right. You've
at
got
Prescott Realty.
John Rocha to contact if you are looking for a new home. And Lorinda Johnson will help you out if there's an existing home that you're on the search for in the greater Prescott area. Give them a call, 928-499-8700.
Talking with comedian Craig Shoemaker on the Ronnie and Bo Show. Good morning, Craig.
Good morning. It's B-O, or are
yes.
you okay?
Yeah.
You don't have the Beau Bridges, the French bow.
Yeah.
It's the Southern bow.
That's exactly right.
It's the Bo Derek bow.
But
And
Ronnie,
if you were in Philadelphia, we would call you B.O., like you stink.
Yeah,
that's how we are in Philly.
I've heard
Someone
that.
told me that yesterday. They said, "You're so Philly." I go, well, "What does that mean?" You know what it means.
By the way, Ronnie spells his name with a U and a G-H. Don't ask. I don't have.
Okay, Ronnie. Hello, Ronnie.
He's the French of the two.
Yeah, you can make it a French show. That would be great. It's Beau and Ronnie.
We're smoking right now at the same time, so that would work, yeah.
Hey, by the way, you just mentioned that Philly thing. I want to congratulate you and your Eagles on the Super Bowl win.
Well, thank you. I'll
important.
take it, even though we're into the season already. We're into the next season.
Well,
we're already booing the Super Bowl MVP. Of course, they're booing him already in Philadelphia. It's unbelievable. This guy tore it up in the Super Bowl. They've been waiting their entire lives. People. Grandfathers were just barely saw the game and then died. I mean, and here they are and they love players with a good vowel in their sound, so they can put the full Nick Foles. He stinks, Foles. He's got to go. Nick Foles. Where's Carson Wentz? They're insane. They're most insane fans, and I raised my kids in Southern California to all be Eagles, Sixers, Flyers, Phillies fans, and I'm going to get a call from Child Services.
Oh, that's good.
So Craig has been on Comedy Central. You've done all sorts of things. You're an award winner, Craig, right?
Yeah,
a couple of Emmys.
A couple Emmys. Those are jogging weights now. So people did, because nobody's going to come to my house, so I have to go out with them. I have found that all these awards are pretty much meaningless after a very short period of
Really?
time.
I've heard that I've heard that even with like the Oscars. I heard Robin Williams say, everybody's all over you for like a week, and then it's back to hey Mork. So
it's I don't even watch the Oscars anymore because it's so full of it. I mean,
yeah,
literally, you could win an Oscar and then you could show up at the Velvet Rope a couple years later and they're going, "What's your name, Marley Matlin?" Sorry, we have no idea who you are. You haven't done anything in the last few years. You're done. I mean, whatever happened to Hang Noor? I know he died, but it's just the way it is. I mean, I won this Comedian of the Year American Comedy Awards.
Yep.
The previous winners were like Jeff Foxworthy and Ellen DeGeneres and Jerry Seinfeld. I'm going, wow, this is awesome. I'm going to have my own sitcom about a gay redneck in a show about nothing. and all that award did, the only thing it did for me, nobody ever stopped me in the street and said, are you the comedian here at the American Comedy Awards on ABC? No, not one single person ever. The only thing it did was heighten the resentment of other comics.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I became, for a year, I was Dane Cook, Jeff Dunham, and Carrot Top.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
those are three that have all been the trifecta of the resentment list of comedians.
Didn't even get you a free Arby's sandwich or anything, huh?
I got absolutely. Oh no, I took stuff backstage. Now that I'm good for. Those bags and the things and the free food, I'll put it in my pockets. I have no vanity. I come from poverty.
Oh, that's great. So, you were raised in Philly?
I was, yes, and all over Philly. My dad left when I was born. I'm like, well, something I said, wah, and then. And my mom, we didn't have any money, so we kept moving, but always in Philadelphia. When I was a kid, I actually thought the word evict meant move, like they're the same word. I go, look, Mommy, here's the eviction truck. I still keep a box packed. No matter how successful I am, I always have a box packed. I think they're coming for me.
You know, in radio, they say you can tell how successful a disc jockey is by the size of their U-Haul. I don't know if that translates to comedians or anything like that.
Yeah, well, it translates to my life. Although we didn't use U-Hauls, we had no money. It was just some borrowed pickup trucks from friends,
station wagons.
Yeah, when I was a kid, you always got to know people with pickup trucks and pools.
Pools.
Pickup trucks and pools.
What was school like for you? I mean, were you the class clown or shy kid, or what was school like?
It's a good question. Yeah, I would say, well, actually, I did not win class clown. I was that boy. You talk about resentment. I am not happy about that. I won the shortest.
Oh,
I won, and they posed me next to the Eric Farber, who was like this giant guy with a fro that added 6 inches, and then I am this little peanut, and they go shortest and tallest. Greg Shoemaker and Eric Farber, and I go, this is horrible. I'm 6'2" now. I finally grew, but I was pee-wee, and I hated it, and I had this miserable face on me. And then Paul DeBlazy won wittiest. He won the funniest. And boy, did that make me mad.
I love that you still know their names.
And of course I do.
Talk about resentment.
Yeah, exactly. That's the theme of our show.
Yeah.
I held on to that so long, and then he was in an audience one night at the Improv in Hollywood. I'm there, Paul DeBlazy. Look who's funniest now. I love to get even with people. That's part of what drives a comedian. It's like how you get even. Well, one time I was on a show. Cindy Crawford became like a fan and a friend. She had me on her TV show on NBC.
That's awesome.
And so she says, "Oh, Love Master, you must have had a lot of girls in high school." I said, "Well, Cindy, I did not. As a matter of fact, I asked 13 girls at the prom, and one finally went with me, and she made out with Ricky Aldermere in the corner." I said, "I can't believe." I said, "Yeah, Linda Scott." I turned to the camera. I go, "Linda Scott, but look who I'm with now, Cindy Crawford." And guess what? Here's the best part about it. Linda Scott was watching, and so was Ricky Aldermere's wife. I got emails. I was like, well, there you go. I finally got my karma points.
There you go.
Yeah.
So growing up in Philly, you went to Temple, right?
I went to first. I went to California, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
California University of Pennsylvania. It's like it's all I could afford. I couldn't make it to the real California, so I went outside Pittsburgh in the mountains and went to California, Pennsylvania, and plus 210 on your SATs. You're an honor student. I got in, no problem. And so then I went to Temple University, and I got a couple degrees now. It's that's all. The education was important, and so was relating to other people and performing at the schools. I put myself through school doing comedy.
That's what I understand. And you were working in comedy bars and stuff. Did you think that you wanted to be in that scenario, working your way through college? I mean, is that why you picked that route, or was it just the job to get you through college?
Well, if my parents gave me $1, I wouldn't have been working my ass off. I wouldn't have picked that scenario. I would have loved to have been paid for it. I talk about full circle. My son just went away to college. Actually, he went to California, Pennsylvania, from this California. I know it's crazy.
Awesome.
I know. I said, Justin, you understand, you're in the real California. You're about to go to the fake one. So yeah, he's going there, and he's always telling me, he's 20. He goes, I'm an adult. Treat me like an adult. And I go, and then the bill comes in. He goes, Dad, can you pay for college? I said, well, adult. This adult pays all his own bills. How's that working out for you? Suddenly, I'm 12. But I would have preferred not to work, but guess what? The work paid off, and I was in theater, and
gave you great experiences, right?
Well, yeah, and then being in college, you get to work with other actors, and you go behind. I even did props and lights, and you learn all ends of the business. And now, I'm on all these TV shows and movies, and I have a production company now, a really big production company. We're doing film and TV, so it all worked out.
That's great. So, I mean, over 3 decades of doing this, between the comedy and the acting and the writing and the producing, do you have a favorite? Which of all of that lineup that
you will not believe me when I tell you? Are you sitting down?
Yes. Yeah.
My favorite is radio.
No way.
Oh, that's awesome.
Why is that? Do you think?
I know why. I'm just shocked that you're not shocked.
No, we are.
Because radio, I talk to radio people all the time, and it's my favorite medium. I mean, and I literally have done every bit. I've been in, Broadway.
Right.
Really?
70,000 people in Florida. You perform for comedy and stand-up specials and everything, acting, movies. I love radio the most, and DJs are like, what are you kidding me? I need to get out of this business.
You want to get into radio and clean office toilets? One thing about radio, and for example, I don't have as much experience in TV or movies, but there's a lot of standing around in TVs and movies, right? Unlike radio. Radio is just flying by the seat of your pants. Do you find it that way?
That's correct.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things. Yeah, you hurry up and wait, and look, I'm not going to complain, but I will tell you that radio, you show up, you can be, I've met quite a few ugly people. You can be as ugly as you want, and you can make yourself uglier if you want. You can wear a hat, you can grow your beard, you don't have to put Just for Men in your hair. You could just...
You put that in your hair?
Or eat it, whatever you do there, Mo.
Go ahead.
I know you're trying to reset. We're talking with Craig Shoemaker.
No.
By the way, folks, that's Craig Shoemaker, not Schumacher. These guys got it right. Thank God. Or I would have hung up. You make shoes, you don't mock shoes, except for Crocs. Those you can mock.
Hey, would you mind sharing what's on your website at craigshoemaker.com? That little quote about your first joke. Do you know what I'm referring to?
My first joke
in third grade. To break the ice.
About Shoemaker, yeah.
Yeah,
I put that on my website.
Yeah, my dad. The first joke I wrote in third grade to break the ice at a new school. My dad has a shoe factory.
Shoe factory that burnt down. Some big heel started it. A lot of souls were lost.
Yeah, his third grade joke. Awesome, isn't it?
That was my first joke. Got a laugh. I will tell you in a second when I finish why I love radio.
Sure.
But I'll tell you in a second what happened. My debut in comedy in fourth grade, but it's too long of a story to put on my website. So the reason I love radio is you're creating theater of the mind.
Yeah.
And you are doing that for people. You have to be descriptive, and you've got to be careful with your words. And if you do regular radio, you can't curse also.
That's right.
There's that limitation makes you go further into exploring, instead of a joke with an F-bomb, which we all do on stage, because there's the safety of it, and it is how we talk. But it makes you more careful because now the kids are listening.
Right.
So you can be more creative and artistic on the radio than you can anywhere else. You don't have the safety of props or CGI. or anything. There's no acting coaches. It's just you and a microphone, and hopefully, I have no idea if anybody's listening to this, by the way.
Yeah.
But hopefully an audience. I could be just talking to three of us, like
Well,
we're just hanging out.
Craig, our wives listen, so don't worry about that.
Okay, I've got those two. Tell them to go to my website and sign up at CraigShoemaker.com. I'll send them a shoes letter every single month.
Nice. So I guess from your explaining radio, I guess we're not going to hear the Love Master then.
The Love Master can be said on radio. It's all innuendo and fun.
It is fun, yeah.
You know, he's just a guy that he's the answer to when I was in high school. All the girls would use the F word with me. You know, friend. I was always the friend. I hated being the friend. I had this little high voice, and it'd say you know how women pee together, the posse pee.
Yeah, right.
They would take me with them. That's what it
You were that safe.
They would go, hey, I got to pee. Time to go, Craig, come on. And they take me with them, and I'm going, oh, geez, this is terrible. And they would talk about these bad guys. There was always bad guys, you know, that were terrible to them. And I would always be the voice of reason and to listen to, the ear for them. And I go, oh, he's so hot. And then I was, oh, I'll fix you up, no problem. And I'm thinking, oh, give the geek a chance. oh, what I could do to you. Oh, yeah, I'm the Love Master, baby. Oh, yeah, what I'll do to you, I'll love you so good, your neighbor will have a smoke, baby. Oh, yeah. I'll have you begging like PBS on a pledge drive, baby. Oh, yeah. So that's what I thought I was underneath.
Yeah.
And I've actually had girls and women through the years only want the Love Master, like in real life. Like I meet a hottie and I'm like, hey, I'm Prince McGrew. You know, just shut up. Let me do that Love Master. As a matter of fact, that reminds me of a story. I was filming the movie The Love Master.
Right, yep.
And Farrah Fawcett was in it.
Oh man!
And I cast Farrah Fawcett. I couldn't believe
it. That's
who
amazing.
Didn't have her poster in their room, but
That's exactly right. I got my hand raised.
Yeah,
yeah, right. And so she was almost my first woman. I guess she was my first woman indirectly.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So for a kid, and so she was it. So she's in the movie The Love Master. I couldn't believe it. I'm rehearsing in a car alone with her, rehearsing our scene, and I said, I practically called her Miss Fawcett. I said, oh, Miss Fawcett, thanks for doing my movie. I really appreciate it. And she's like, oh, shut up. I just want to know if that Love Master's real.
No way. I'd be looking in the rearview mirror for Lee Majors.
Yeah. So anyway, the Love Master in real life does not really exist. But plenty of people have come to see him through the years, which is sweet.
Great character. Hey, go ahead.
No, you do an amazing Don Knotts.
No, wait a minute.
Impression.
That's Ronnie asking, and I didn't set Ronnie up. Ronnie in real life works with Don Knotts' nephew.
Yeah, Bill Knotts.
That's so funny. Guess what?
What?
Karen Knotts was at my show last week. His
Unbelievable.
daughter.
Oh man,
unbelievable.
That's
as a matter of fact, she called me about a year ago, and she said she found me through my agent. She said she didn't go old school like you guys did and Facebook message me.
Right.
Oh, sorry, man.
So she calls me. She said, I'm writing a book about my dad called Tied Up in Knots. And you were his favorite comedian. And I was going, what?
That is so
special. I was blown away by this because when I was a kid, like I said, I didn't have a dad. Andy was my dad and he was my uncle. He was like Uncle Barney.
So good. Yeah.
I go home and watch him on the little black and white TV when I came home from high school.
Lunch or after school
or whatever. Yeah, and I just watched it reruns on UHF, if you know what that is.
Yeah.
But anyway, she tells me this, and so then interviews me for the book, and I realized he's been a part of my life since childhood. Listen to this run of things that happened. talk about circle of life or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes.
So my first time on television, on national television, I won $10,000 on America's Funniest People.
Oh,
and
man. I remember that show. Yeah.
The bit that I did was Barney Fife having a fist fight with the Cowardly Lion.
Oh, that is classic.
So it was like, all right, here we go. Back up, Lion. You better look out. These things are certified lethal weapons. And the lion's like, I'll put them up. So that little thing won me $10,000.
Oh.
And so there's that, right?
Yep.
And the next time I'm on television, my first acting gig is on Matlock. I guest starred on Matlock twice.
Yeah.
And Don Knotts was on that show with Andy Griffith.
Oh, man.
So here's my dad and my uncle on the first show that I ever do on national television. Then I go and I did Comic Relief in 1996 or 7 or something like that.
Right.
And I'm on stage and Universal. It happened to be the night that they honored the Steve Allen show, and they had all the old characters from Steve Allen. And Don Knotts was there watching me imitate him live on stage.
Wow.
In front of thousands of people. He's backstage looking on the monitor, sitting next to Steve Allen, and somebody said he turned to Steve Allen. He goes, "He does me pretty good, doesn't he, Steve?" So then that night, they put me. I was unbelievable. It kind of launched my career that night.
Yeah.
I did a press conference, my first one, and then they brought him out for the press conference.
Oh, wow.
And the two of us are there, and they're like, "Do it together." And he goes, "I'm a little old now. He does me better than me." And we talked for an hour. I still have a picture of it, us on a couch after Comic Relief, and I hung out with him. Nicest guy in the world. Here's the more full circle. I did, the movie Pleasantville?
Yeah.
Reese Witherspoon, Tobey Maguire,
Yeah.
and Don Knotts was in it. I think it was his final performance. He was the TV repairman. He was sick, and I went in and replaced most of the voice as me.
Yeah.
It's me doing him as an old guy. If you watch the movie Circles the Apple on a telestrator, it's actually me going, boom! What do you call that right there, bud? They're forbidden fruit here in Pleasantville. I'm the TV repairman. And I had to do him as an old guy, which was so strange. And so I duped his voice. And that's why it's a strange thing that when she called me, I didn't realize how much he's really meant to my life ever since I was a little kid.
Wow, that's amazing.
Obviously, we've seen you on Parks and Rec, and then on the other end of the spectrum, The Bold and the Beautiful.
Yeah, I was curious about The Bold and the Beautiful. I wasn't around when that was when you appeared on that.
You weren't around?
I was around. I wasn't around TV then. I wasn't around The Bold and Beautiful then.
You weren't. What does that mean? Around? You were born 4 years ago?
No,
you have a very deep voice for a preschooler. I wasn't around.
No, I wasn't around.
When you did
I wasn't around Bold and Beautiful. Tell us about that experience.
What do you mean you weren't? I still want to get to. I wasn't around.
You weren't home at 3 p.m. Is that what it was?
That's right.
Okay. Oh, there you go. Okay, you weren't around when it airs, and I don't think you're DVRing The Bold and the Beautiful.
That's it. That's right.
If you lived in like Bermuda, it's huge there. But yeah, I played a porn producer. I don't know how I was cast as that. And by the way, I didn't audition. They made me an offer. I was like, "Where'd you get this from?" I'm a Family Guy. So, they let me write my own lines and stuff. I did like 5 episodes. It was fun.
That's nice.
That's awesome.
So
the only thing with soap operas though is there's 0 residuals.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
All of other TV, you get. I mean, they're not huge residuals. I just got a check from the Hughleys for 17 cents.
Yeah, no, that's right. That's right. You get a lot of those. But the nice thing is when the mail comes, he gets a residual for 17 cents, but he gets about 45 checks at the same time, right? So it adds up to about $12, right?
Yeah, it's like, and you're going, the stamp was more.
Yeah.
You got to take that down to the bank.
Yeah.
Not worth the trip, is it?
Exactly. Gas to the bank isn't 17. It's more than 17 cents. none of this that's good.
So I want to shift gears a little bit, Craig. And you're a real funny guy, and you've won a lot of awards, and you've created TV and movie and produced and acted and written. I want to talk about Laughter Heals. You get a little serious with your comedy, right?
Well, yeah, it's not even comedy.
Right.
I was kind of faced with, I call them ha-ha moments because I'm a comedian, but as a matter of fact, in Arizona, we filmed the Love Master, part of the movie The Love Master, and the director is one of my best friends, Michael Goldberg, and he's from comedy. He wrote Cool Runnings, Little Giants.
Awesome. Yep.
A great comedy writer and Philly guy, and always laughing together. That was our lives were just joy, and we both also wanted a family, and he was married at the time, and his wife, we were in a condo on an off day in Arizona about to watch our Eagles play a game on TV, and his wife says, I'm ovulating.
Wow.
So I said, okay, I heard that. I'm going to leave now, and I want you to do the Love Master because it works. I've had many people that give me credit for their child being conceived after my comedy show.
I bet.
Because every guy tries to do the Love Master, and also the laughter loosens you up. People were told they're infertile, and so I'm warning you folks, if you do come see me, wear protection. So someone sent me a photo of a child conceived in the parking lot of the Brea Improv and came out laughing.
That's hilarious.
I'm not exaggerating. It's the funniest thing. So I said, hey, look, why don't you try this? You do the Love Master and make her laugh. I'll go get sandwiches. I came back. He was already done. So I said, okay, Love Master. And baby Kayla was born 9 months later.
Wow.
And so but what happened was, I guess about 2 years after that, he got brain cancer. And
man.
Yeah, they told him you have 3 months to live.
Man.
So that was the moment Laughter Heals was formed. I started in a cancer facility in the Valley in Los Angeles, outside Los Angeles, and we do developed this Laugh for Life therapy program.
Wow.
And you don't need jokes. We train other facilitators on how to do guided laughitation. If you can meditate, you can laughitate.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of accessing it, and I'm partners with a doctor as well. And, we talk about all the healing benefits and
the actual healing benefits that come from
laughter.
What happens physiologically when you laugh?
Physiologically, well, your circulatory system is fully engaged.
Wow.
Your heart rate, your pulse, your skin,
endorphins.
Think about how you tingle, the endorphins that are released, the
so
cortisol
cool.
levels, everything engages better healing. They say laughter is the best medicine, but you don't hear about it because there's no money behind it. You hear about every drug with every bad side effect.
Right.
Because they have tons of money to convince you that this is your answer. There's nobody going, hey, laughter's your answer, because that's free.
Yeah.
And we have these guided laughitations. It's free. You can access it. It's like we're your pharmacy. And people, by the way, go to a comedy show is what I tell them. I said, for a $20 copay, you're good.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
No.
And it's so sad, our country, how backwards we are with money and bribes and things like that. When it's really, we have access to this. It's also the reason weed was illegal, or still is in most places. It's because of the threat, because the government knows you can grow it in your backyard.
Right.
And it's the same with laughter. You can grow it right inside your own spirit.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of choice and getting rid of those voices that tell you you look silly when you laugh, or what are you laughing at, idiot? That's what we had in Philly. Hey, what are you laughing at?
Yeah.
So, you get rid of those messages. That's what we talk about in these therapy programs. And we help wounded warriors. We go to cancer facilities. And Golds, he showed up at every one of these. He increased the amount of comedy he watched. And he lived 15 years past that 3-month prognosis.
Wow.
With brain cancer. He lived.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
so his
incredible.
daughter got to know her dad a little bit. We had a funeral, which turned into a roast. It was more of a funeral. we roasted him so bad when he finally died. And she went up, and there wasn't a dry eye in the place. She goes, wow, now I know my father. So I only knew him as a sick man.
What a gift.
She only knew him as sick. And we showed who he was organically and authentically one of the funniest people ever. We always had a great time together. I made him laugh on his deathbed too.
Wow.
I pulled him out of a coma. I said, geez, you're sitting there. I don't know what else to do. I said, you want me to give you a handy? He came out of a coma and he goes, he laughed. I loved it.
Oh, man. Well, that's what I like about you, Craig, is you're extremely funny, you're extremely talented, but you do have a little serious side and you have a helpful side to your comedy, you know?
It's funny you should say that. I have a new podcast. I guess it'll air soon. I just did the first one yesterday. It's called Craig Shoemaker, How Can I Help You?
Wow.
Because I've always loved helping people, whether it's assisting them through like a depression. You cannot be depressed at the same time you're laughing. Literally, they can't be in the same space. And I truly enjoy, I help comedians and mentor them, and I help people get jobs, and I've fixed up people. I have 9 marriages I've fixed up, not including my own, by the way, because then we're in double digits. Anyway, but I really get a kick out of it. I said, what's my show going to be about, this podcast? It's just about somebody talking, another comedian or whatever.
Yeah.
And no, I'll just be funny, but also be able to help people. And my first guest was my friend, Kenny Loggins.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, he gave me my start in comedy. I went from comedy clubs to touring with him for a whole year and a half.
Very cool.
And he would, let me open for him. It was awesome. I'm playing stadiums, and it was crazy. Just the difference in traveling with people, which I normally travel by myself, but I'm now with the band. And it was really, really such a great experience. And so Kenny, he performed at a concert in my parking lot at the new production company with REO Speedwagon. It was a ride.
No way. Was that in the Westlake area, the Agora area?
Yeah, Westlake. We're bringing Hollywood to Westlake Village, California. And it's actually funny because they had never met before. So I said, Kevin, come on up here at REO Speedwagon. And Kevin goes, yeah, Kenny, I always wanted to tell you this story. He's in the mid-'80s, we're really high, came off a triple platinum album. They sent us this script. It was very light on dialogue, a lot of action. I really didn't get it. They said there's this actor attached, Tom Cruise. I didn't really know who he was. And he goes, it was a little movie called Top Gun. And then Kenny goes, so you passed? He goes, yeah, I passed. And then Kenny goes, thanks for passing. And then Kenny tells a story about he was only going to do the volleyball scene, play it for the boys.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And then they called him and they said, well, our first choice passed, Danger Zone is yours.
Oh.
And the rest is history. And then they did Danger Zone together for the first time in our parking lot.
That's cool.
Crazy. That was really cool.
Oh, man.
So Kenny asks me, actually, it was that night, he goes, you remember my son Cody? And Cody, I remember him, last time I saw him, he was 7 years old, and he would tail around me. He goes, I love comedy, and, because I'm the comedian, everybody else is a musician, and he's so used to that. But he really wanted to be in comedy. 7 years old, last time I saw him, Kenny says to me, Cody is he left Santa Barbara where he grew up and all the things he was trying to do and restaurant business and electrician, and he just moved to Hollywood. He wants to finally pursue his dreams. And I said, tell him to come see me.
Wow.
No way.
And I hired him. He's running my company now, and he opens for me, and I mentor him in comedy.
Wow.
And by the way, he shows up. I'm expecting Kenny's little kid, I haven't seen him since he was 7.
Yeah.
And he's 6'9" and 36 years old.
Kenny's a tall, slender guy, so I can't imagine how tall this kid is, right?
6'9". And and I said, first thing I said to him is, so he does stand up. And I said, put the brakes on. Everybody can do observational comedy. You got to go up and be true to you. I said, 2 things need to come out of your mouth. I'm Kenny Loggins' son, and I'm 6'9". So I said, there is literally no comic on the planet that has those 2 things. There's no one on the planet that has either one of those.
Yeah, yep.
And I said, come on, your father married his colon therapist. I said, you've got to do a poo corner joke.
Oh,
That's great.
So anyway, I mentor him, and he was my first guest on my podcast. So
that'll be fun to listen to.
That's going to be great. That's going to be.
Yeah,
and it's
him growing up with a famous dad.
Yep.
Of which he knows nothing else. He has no other context, and it was interesting. So it was a cool interview. That was my first one, but yeah, I'm gonna have a show that reflects, kind of who I am. I really do like helping people. I'm out of the rescue business. I used to do that.
Wow.
Yep. Oh yeah, I try to rescue my mom from being miserable, and I wrote letters to famous people to fix them up with my mother. I put her picture in there. You should meet her. You'll unconfirm as a bachelor. One of the guys was Paul Lynn. That was a mistake. She says he's awful. He's adorable, but Parade magazine says he's a confirmed bachelor. Well,
as a kid, Mom, you didn't know the difference.
No, I didn't know the ascot might have been a giveaway. But that he was not going to ask for her phone number. But I wrote to another athlete. I used to look at baseball cards. I could care less what they hit, but I looked for one thing.
What?
It's marital status. And I found this guy. I go, look, Mom, Tim McCarver, and he's a catcher for the Phillies, and I'm a pitcher. He could be my stepdad. He can marry you, and he could teach me how to pitch in the backyard. She goes, he doesn't want me, and I wrote him a letter. I got it through to Veterans Stadium. Dear Tim McCarver, here's my mother. You should meet her. And he had all the qualifications for her too. But anyway, I told Joe Buck that story. It's Tim's old friend.
Wow.
See, Joe Buck gave me a ball. It's my favorite memorabilia. It's a ball, and it's signed by Tim McCarver, and it says, "Dear son, time to grow up. Love, Dad."
Oh gosh,
I still never met him, but that's okay.
That's good,
really good.
Good enough.
Well, I think, Craig, honestly, the same that you said about Kenny Loggins' kid could be said about you.
Sure.
There's really nobody like you out there, both just as a comedian and who you are. And honestly, we just can't thank you enough for taking the time and being so generous with it. You've made us laugh the whole time through, and it just means a whole lot. So
and thanks for being accessible, and thanks for putting all that good stuff out in the world. It's good stuff.
Thank you. I can be honest. I told you before we went on air. I said, I do some of these, and you want to abandon ship, and you're going, oh, jeez, nobody listening. This guy, why does he have a microphone? I will tell you that after all this time together, you both deserve a golden microphone. You're very good interviewers. I just hope someone is listening. Yep. I'll tell you what, I'm going to make a little proposal out there.
Okay.
Somebody tell me through a tweet, through Instagram. I'm Craig Shue on Instagram. I'm the Love Master on Twitter, or Craig Shoemaker fan page.
All right.
Or CraigShoemaker.com.
Yep.
Write me a note and say you heard me on here.
Yeah, amen.
And then I will know
on the Ronnie and Bo show.
Yeah.
Yes, then I will know that this was worth my half an hour of leaving my daughter in the other room on a screen because I didn't know what else to do.
Hey,
I threw her in front of Dora the Explorer.
I can't believe that, Craig. I got to interrupt. My daughter is sick from school, and she's in her bedroom on an iPad. And I said, "Don't come out unless you have an emergency." I'm talking to Craig.
Oh, that's hysterical.
That's true.
Well, I told her, please come up with an emergency so I can get off this damn show that I don't know, I've never heard of before in my life. Please, okay, give it a 10 count, and you start screaming. But she must be into another episode because she has not interrupted us once.
That's good.
Well, Craig, it was wonderful meeting you, and thank you for your time. And by the way, thanks for the compliment about the show. But one last question before we leave.
Yes.
What's your favorite color? Is that what you were expecting today in this interview? All right, never mind.
I never got a favorite. I don't think I've had that one yet. I think they do get a little more obscure.
Okay. What's your favorite food, Craig? Okay.
The answer is a red. I'm seeing red right now that I ever did this interview.
Craig, you're the best, and we really love you, and we're fans of yours, and we're so thrilled for the success that you've had in your life, and thanks for helping people.
Thank you. And listen, go to my calendar on my website, CraigShoemaker.com, and wherever you're listening, and hopefully I'll be coming to a town near you soon. And if I'm not coming to the Tempe Improv, if I'm not on the list, then make sure you have lots of people bug them and say,
Absolutely.
When is Craig Shoemaker coming back?
Yeah,
that's something
you
we
got
can
it.
do.
You got it.
Let's get a campaign to get my ass back there.
All
We would
right,
love that. We would love
we'll
that.
lead that campaign for you.
Perfect. I love it. All right, guys. Thanks so much.
Thanks
Thank
for your
you,
time,
Craig.
Craig. Have a great
Give
day.
me a copy of the recording. I want to hear this back.
Absolutely,
I
I will.
If I said anything stupid.
No. Brilliant.
It was
we will.
great. It was
All
great.
right, bye.
I appreciate
You're the
it.
best.
Thank you, Craig.
Bye-bye, Craig. The Ronnie and Bo podcast brought to you by Prescott Realty.
Yeah, you can call today for a no-commitment, free consultation. They've got an amazing group of specialists over there because specialists are who they are. So if you're looking for a custom lot, they've got a specialist for that, or existing builds, then there's a specialist for that, or new homes, or if you're a first-time home buyer, then you're going to want to connect with them over there. So give them a
Highly
call
Elliott. Yep.
today at 928-499 8700, or you can go to PrescottRealty.com.
Thanks for listening to The Ronnie and Bo Show, available on your favorite podcast provider. Please connect with The Ronnie and Bo Show on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and RonnieandBoShow.com. Send comments to RonnieandBoShow@gmail.com. This is your announcer speaking. I'm Shotgun Tom Kelly.